Hi, I'm Oreomo Sosanya.
And I'm Adedoyin Inaolaji.
Today we're going to be asking each other some questions.
And swapping some snacks. We each have a set of questions to ask each other. And when we pull out this card that says snack time, we are going to be exchanging our favorite snacks. So, are you ready, Ore?
Yep, let's do it. Okay, so first question. What first inspired you to pursue electrical engineering?
That's a very interesting question. So, I grew up in Nigeria, which is a country in West Africa where electricity is highly unstable. And when I was growing up, the authority that was in charge of electricity generation was called NEPA, which stands for National Electric Power Authority, or NEPA for short. So growing up, whenever electric power gets restored, we would all shout, "Up NEPA!" And, the entire house, city, neighborhood, would literally be lit up, with people excited and trying to get things done that they couldn't do previously without electricity, right? So as a child, I really enjoyed seeing people, get lit up, both figuratively and literally, right, as a result of electricity generation being restored. And I wanted to be a part of that, change in the country. And so that's actually why I decided to, study electrical engineering. Yeah. And aside from that, I was obsessed with mathematics and physics during my high school days. So yeah, it just made perfect sense to me to go for electrical engineering.
Wow. I grew up in Nigeria as well, and NEPA was a big issue. So growing up, I enjoyed seeing that, like, up NEPA.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be part of the people that brought NEPA to the neighborhood.
Right.
So, yeah.
So now you tell me what inspired you to become an engineer.
Okay, so first of all, I will give a lot of credit to my dad. When I was little, we would work on household appliances that broke around the house. So for example, our washing machine broke one time, and he called me to come help him, like, open it up and look at what was wrong and, try and fix it. And we actually did fix it, and it worked, and it was so exciting. But little projects like that, and then there was this competition that we went for. It was called a convention. It was in a city called Miango. And we went there, and the project I did was I made a water turbine that powered a little cardboard house.
Okay.
And so after that, I was like, I kind of like electricity, so I'm gonna, pursue that. And so that kind of was kind of what sparked the interest for engineering and stuff, because I just liked seeing how after you connected certain wires and, like, maybe some coding, there was light,
Right.
So yeah, that's
I think it's really fascinating, actually, to be an
fascinating.
electrical engineer and to get to impact the quality of lives of people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's magic to me. All right, next question. Let us see. What has been your favorite part about teaching future engineers?
My favorite part, I would say, is the opportunity to mentor, the next generation of engineers. Particularly, for me, I have benefited a lot from mentorship, right? I really have to give credit to everything that I am today, honestly, is as a result of people who have, poured into me.
Right.
So I would like to give back, basically. And it's fascinating to me, when I see students who come to me initially with, zero knowledge about electrical engineering or anything, and then, I get to mentor them, and gradually just seeing them bloom and, grow right before my eyes is really fulfilling and, really, really exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I actually am looking to go along that path of mentoring, because I also enjoy seeing people, like, bloom.
Wow.
But I've mentored, like, little kids, so I'm hoping to do, in the future with.
I think it's the most fulfilling job ever, honestly.
Yeah.
So out of all the departments in UB's School of Engineering and Applied Sciences, why did you choose electrical engineering?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Okay, so my electrical engineering journey didn't actually start at UB. It started in Texas. I started in Austin Community College and transferred to UTSA before coming to UB. And it wasn't until I got to UB that I actually discovered like exactly what electrical engineering was all about and got into the actual electrical engineering classes. And to be honest, I am loving it. They're a little bit tough, but you know, that's, you gotta,
It's to be expected.
pain is you gotta have pain.
No pain, no gain.
Yeah, no
right?
pain, no gain. That's what it was, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would have switched earlier, but now that I've gotten into it, I'm like, okay, this makes sense.
Okay.
Now I know why I chose it.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. What is something you have accomplished in your career that you are the proudest of?
Yeah, that's really easy because I'm actually doing it right now.
Oh.
The biggest thing I'm really proud of is the fact that I am where I am today, working as an assistant professor. It has been a dream of mine, for the longest time, right from college days, right? I always knew that I wanted to be a professor, and after my undergraduate degree, I proceeded to doing my PhD, and there was a lot of uncertainty about whether I would be good enough to get an assistant professor job right after PhD, or whether I would have to do a postdoctoral fellowship. But I'm really thankful that I got this opportunity to be an assistant professor, and it's been a joyride. Like you said, it's not there. I mean, there are difficult days.
Yep.
But overall, it's been a bliss.
What has been the hardest part of the journey up until now?
The hardest part has been trying to communicate my research to stakeholders in a way that they would be interested in funding my research. Right, that's like the most difficult part, which I'm still navigating. But I would say, day by day, I keep learning, keep making connections, networking with people. Because it's teaching me to really push myself out. I have to be visible for people to actually get to know me, get to know my work, get to know the value that my work is providing.
Yeah, definitely networking, I feel like, is the hardest part of the engineering degree. Not even the math, not the physics, it's the networking, putting yourself out there. Yeah. All right. So if you were not an engineer, what do you think you would be doing instead?
Ooh, okay. That's a difficult one because honestly, I cannot imagine myself as anything else apart from an engineer. But hypothetically, if I was not an engineer, I think I would be a novelist.
Oh,
yeah.
You write?
I used to write.
Wow.
So during, high school and college, I actually I read a lot of novels growing up, and I started writing like short stories. Then towards the end of my college days, I actually started writing like a series, like a full-blown novel. But I mean, I don't have much time anymore to do that. But I really used to love, imagining and coming up with such creative ideas and scenarios, and writing mystery novels. Yeah.
Wow, I would love to read those sometime, if that's okay.
If they ever come to fruition.
Right.
Because the short stories I used to write are, they're back home in Nigeria now, so I don't even have them with me.
Got you. Wow,
Yes.
that's very interesting. I never would have guessed. Wow.
Yeah. So now it's snack time.
Snack time. Food.
So this is the McVitie's brand of shortbread cookies. And I actually got introduced to this snack in my second year of undergrad by my now husband.
Oh.
So at that time, we were dating in college, and this snack was really expensive. I mean, for a college student, it was it was fairly pricey. So it was his way of, doing something really special for me. And the very first time I tried it, I really loved it. I don't know if I loved it because I got it from someone I loved, or or because of the snack. But anyways,
Either way, it's loved.
yes. But I used to eat it a lot when I was studying as a student in college. Yeah. So would you like to try it?
Absolutely. It looks so good. Still a little bit of reveal here.
What do you think?
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's actually so good.
I know.
It's so buttery too.
Yeah, exactly. It has that buttery feel, you know, when you put it in your
I
mouth.
love that.
Yeah, it's yummy.
I'm about to eat the whole plate. Looks good.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try as well. Well, not try because obviously I'm eating this a lot.
Yeah. This takes me back to my childhood.
Did you also used to eat this then?
I ate it like once in a while when
Right.
our uncles would come visit.
Right, it was like
so
a very
good.
special snack because it was
Yeah.
pricey. Yeah. All right, so Ore,
Yes.
what are you working on right now that you're the most excited about?
Okay, so technically there's two things that I'm excited about that I'm working on right now. So first is the research that we were working on, the optimization for smart inverters. And the reason I was so excited about that is because, you know, as a kid in Nigeria, I'd always heard about, oh, solar panels, solar panels. I never really got to understand what they were until I started working with you and, you know, the optimization. So that just really opened my eyes to the amount of possibilities that there are with, you know, energy and renewable energy resources. And I just think that is so cool because how are we generating energy with light?
You're right.
I think that's just so amazing. But the second thing I'm excited about that I'm working on right now is this project. I call it kinetic blocks. But basically what it is using piezoelectric materials to generate electricity. So basically once you step on them or like put any sort of mechanical stress on them, they generate electricity. And I'm trying to see how I can harness that electricity to power like, you know, a light bulb or charge a phone and something. So I think that's really cool. I'm a really big like nerd about these things because I think it's so cool that, you know, you step on something and, you know, electricity happens or
Right.
like you have light and you're converting that to electricity. It's so amazing to me.
So I haven't really necessarily looked into piezo materials, but an immediate application that came to mind would possibly be like attaching it to maybe a bicycle.
Right.
And then, you know, while cycling, maybe have a battery, you know, connected to the bicycle. And then while cycling, like stepping on the pedals,
Right,
you could, you know, use the electricity to charge the
something.
battery. Are there other applications that you think, because when you say you want to use it to like light a light bulb, I'm wondering like, okay, so do we have to then go and stay, you know, like place your foot permanently
Right.
on the piezo,
Piezo.
in order to, you know, have light? Or what have you been thinking about in this area?
So with the research I've done recently, I saw something about putting it in a playground, so where kids are playing a lot. So the amount of steps that people would get, you know, would generate some amount of electricity to power some stuff. It could also be put in like busy places, you know, like the Times Square or like places that get a lot of foot traffic.
Gotcha.
You know, or the gym where people like walk a lot or something. So
I see.
there's a lot of different applications for that.
Okay, very interesting. Is that part of a course project that you're doing?
It's an extra honors project.
Okay.
So I'm in the honors college. Shout out honors college. And I was trying to get honors credit. So that was a thing where you can do an honors contract with a professor to get that credit.
Okay. Very interesting. Nice work.
Yeah.
And well done.
Thank you very much.
So now, I know you're like 2 semesters away from or maybe 3 semesters away from 3 semesters away from graduation. So have you thought far enough as to, you know, what your plans are after, you know, graduation?
Yeah, I have a couple of thoughts about that.
Okay.
I was thinking of going to grad school, so a
Ooh,
PhD, following in your footsteps. But I'm still trying to look at, you know, my options with, funding and everything. I'm trying to look at all those options. And then I also really want to work because I want money, That's why I've been in school, to earn money. But I'm still looking at those options. But what's looking more viable right now is the PhD route. Yeah, because research really looks interesting, finding out how things work and, deducing theorems and all that stuff and like making your own conclusions. I think that's very fascinating. So that's probably the route I'm gonna take. And then my mom also did a PhD, so she's like, you have to get your PhD. So yeah.
Oh, good. So you have a mentor in the family that has, taken that route.
Our first doctor in the family.
Yay! Yeah, that's really good. At least it means that you've likely, seen her go through the rigor and, the sometimes frustrating.
Oh yeah.
frustrating events that can happen while doing a PhD. So it probably will not take you by surprise, when you start facing those, rigorous situations while doing a PhD.
Like, I'm scared. I saw her going through it. I'm like, wow. Okay, I got to be prepared. But yeah.
Yeah, but for me, I mean, one thing that kept me, while I was doing my PhD was always going back to my why, going back to the reason why I was doing the PhD. So I think that your reason for doing a PhD should be really, really, really strong because that's what will enable you to, stick to the path when things get really challenging and really difficult.
Guess what time it is? Snack time! This is Ribena.
Ooh.
Ribena. If you want to do a sponsorship, sponsor me. Hey, this is Ribena, one of my favorite childhood drinks. As I mentioned earlier, our uncles would buy this and the shortbread, and it was always a treat when they came over. I think that was what I was looking for the most when they came to visit, not their actual presents, but the Ribena. Because it was just so good, It's very rich and it has a little bit of a sour ting to it. So it's like it shocks you and wakes you up. Ooh, look at the color.
What was this mixed with? Because
it's
not a sparkling water. Yeah. It actually feels very refreshing.
Right?
It does, yeah.
It's so good. One of my favorite childhood drinks. I loved it.
All right, so this is the very last question that I have for you today. Okay. And the question is, do you have any form of counsel or advice that you would like to offer to, maybe a high school senior that is possibly considering coming to UB to study engineering?
Okay. So there's a couple of things that I wish I would have known before I entered college or before coming to UB. So the first is research. So get involved with a professor's lab. Reach out to professors, email them, send a lot of cold emails, go to their office hours or whatever. Just get into a research lab because it helps you explore more the possibilities that are available in that specific major or in other majors, because those professors can also connect you with other professors in other areas. So just come ready to learn and be very, very curious. So ask a lot of questions, be involved in class, right? Everybody says that, it sounds very cliche, but I promise you it helps because, you get your name out there, you meet people, and it's part of networking. So, in addition to going to networking events and socials and stuff, that's a very great way to meet people. And then also, work-life balance. School is going to get very hard, especially as a freshman, because it's a lot different from high school. So find something that's fun, that you enjoy, that can be your escape from schoolwork. And don't let it be scrolling, because I promise you that doesn't really work. But yeah, so come be curious and just be ready to learn. And it's going to get difficult along the way, but that's kind of how life goes, you know? You have difficult times, you have easy times. So just like Professor said, know your why and, you know, have a very strong reason why you're doing this, and it'll carry you through those hard times. Okay, so my last question. If you could go back to when you were a student in undergrad or grad school, what is a piece of advice you would offer your past self?
Yeah, this is going to make me do some retrospection. But yeah, one piece of advice I would offer to both my undergrad self and grad school self would be to relax. You know, you talked about work-life balance, and you spoke right to my soul because I could definitely still take that piece of advice. But yes, you know, I would tell my undergrad self to, you know, of course, be very studious, be very dedicated to studies, but also not to neglect, you know, social interactions. I was a big bookworm as an undergrad and also in grad school, right? But I did miss out a lot on, you know, getting to know my peers, doing more interactions, you know, social interactions and things like that. It's a miracle that I got a husband while as an undergrad because I was studying all the time.
Wow.
But yes, I would tell myself to, you know, relax, try to be more social, to talk to people more, smile more, you know, yeah, just take life easy.
Oh yeah, that's very, very important. Right now I'm doing badminton for my own form of, you know, letting loose, because that movement helps me, you know, if there's frustrations, you can hit the birdie really hard, you know, take out all your frustrations on the birdie.
On the poor birdie. Oh.
So find out where you can take your own frustrations out. That really helps.
Then the second advice I would say is, you know, to really take advantage of mentorship as well. Like, be the one to initiate it, right? Sometimes the professor or the mentor might not necessarily be the one to approach you, right? But you should definitely, you know, approach them and keep the mentorship relationship going. In a mentor-mentee relationship, it's actually the mentee's responsibility to keep that, you know, relationship alive. So make sure you're constantly in the face of, you know, of your mentor, for lack of a better word. Yeah, everyone is busy, obviously, but people are really, really, you know, willing to mentor if only you would ask them. So yes, I wish I was more intentional about mentors, about like seeking out mentors. As an undergrad, I did learn from my undergrad experience. So during grad school, I would like send a lot of LinkedIn invites to people, you know, for me to just, you know, be in their space, be in their network, and for them to get to know me and for me to learn from them.
Has there been any mentee that annoyed you with their emails?
With their emails?
Yeah, like they kept
constantly
in touch too much. Yeah.
No. No, I guess it's not an annoyance to me.
Gotcha.
I see it more as, okay, this person is actually really interested in learning. Right. Yeah, no, I don't think anyone has annoyed me with their emails, yeah.
Because I think from the student's point of view, it gets to a point you're like, oh, I'm sending too many emails, I'm sending too many messages, this person is probably like burdened or busy, you know, so.
Yeah.
It's good to know from a professor's
I
point
mean,
of view.
I don't see it that way. I really think that I'm here to, you know, impact students and to, you know, help them. So that's what I'm here for. And I welcome it with, open arms. All right. Thank you so much for joining us for a C's Snack Swap.
Bye.